we have time for one or two questions.
I'm wondering why catch crops, in Denmark we have a lot of catch crops, why are they not there as a measure?
You mean in this top 5, it was not top 5, and it was at the end somewhere. It was a measure. And it might be, I agree that in the future, it might be one of the innovative measures. But for instance, in Finland, because the temperatures are so low, so maybe the catch crop hasn't time to really develop. So this is the reason that in Finland we haven't been using it that much. But there are a lot of experiments now going on this use of catch crop.
Because I'm wondering, because you have so much spring cells in Finland, so it's very easy to put perennial ryegrass in the corner, a late one, and then you have a lot of leasing you can stop with catch crops.
Yeah, for nitrogen especially. Yeah. I agree, and maybe it's also a question of tradition. We don't have a tradition of using catch crops. You don't have a tradition to use, let's say, this new calcium sulfate. Nobody is interested in this one. So I think it takes time that one country takes one measure from one other country. Because there are so many cultural, traditional things that prevent to do it. So maybe we should have more this type of open cooperation and show that this measure is a very good measure. You should use it. But it's a good point.
Marcus?
You showed very interesting results from your scenario modeling concerning climate change contra land use.
Yeah.
Could you, for a layman like me, explain what are the most important processes for phosphorus and nitrogen affected by climate change in your modeling? I mean, you said that it's very uncertain. You have no data that you cannot calibrate it carefully.
Yeah.
Somehow you need to have. I assume that you have identified the most important processes.
In this, if we are talking about phosphorus models, of course it depends. These climate runs, because a runoff is changing, runoff is increasing, and then it's influencing the surface runoff and mainly erosion. It might also influence the part that is going through via macropores or via the matrix flow. And then, of course, if the temperature is changing, mineralization is changing. But it's difficult for me to say which one is affected most. For phosphorus, I would say it is mostly this surface runoff part. But I don't know, maybe Kristen, for nitrogen you have more answers, because I have been really thinking of this. We don't test our models against, let's say, mineralization. We test it against, in case of phosphorus, the phosphorus pools, and then the output, which comes phosphorus leaching via different water routes. But not really the inside processes in the model. So it's very difficult to say, because mineralization is interacted to many things in the model, that what is the real part of this one and what is the real portion coming from surface runoff. I'm afraid that I'm not able to answer. Maybe there's somebody else who knows better.
I think we need to go on. Could you say your questions to later on? Or
Sorry, now or?
could you say your question?
Okay, I can say it.
Thank you.